Original.
Hello and welcome to Web Crawlers. This is one of our mini episodes, but we have some breaking news. So my guess is that we're going to be talking for a while. We had planned to do kind of like a catch up on Epstein. We were going to talk about the Filthy Rich docuseries and everything like that. And we had planned to record an episode this afternoon. It's 1:30 Pacific time. And we all woke up to the news this morning that Ghislaine has been arrested.
Yeah. Breaking news. What
Breaking
perfect
news.
timing.
Perfect. I dare I say we manifested it.
I dare say you are correct, my lady.
The lady. So to backtrack, I just got so excited I started jumping into it.
That's all I've been thinking about. It's all I've been thinking about all day.
You're listening to the Web Crawlers podcast. I am Allie Siegel.
I am Melissa Stettin.
And I'm producer Maria.
Hi, Maria.
What, like Maria, where's your computer or your phone?
It's pointed at a ceiling. I have to. My computer is charging. It's been a real couple 15 minutes, and so I'm plugging in my computer. In a minute, it's gonna be like nothing had ever been.
Nothing ever happened.
Maria's hiding out. She's in an unknown location.
Yeah, she's in an unknown location. So do you think we should start with like, we had planned to do this as an Epstein episode, but now obviously we have to talk about Ghislaine.
Yeah.
Ghislaine, I don't care how.
You know how it is, because in that documentary, everyone was calling her like Ghislaine, Ghislaine, but they were doing it with this accent.
I'm not doing that.
I like Ghislaine.
I like Ghislaine. We're calling her Ghislaine. So should we start with Epstein or should we start with Ghislaine?
I guess Ghislaine.
Yeah, let's start with
Breaking
Ghislaine.
news.
It's breaking news. Okay, so Ghislaine was arrested this morning at like 8:30 a.m. or something crazy. I woke up to a text from my mom.
Your mom texted you.
Yeah, with a picture saying Ghislaine was arrested.
That was the first thing I heard when I woke up. Martin was on his phone. He's like, guess what? I was like, what? He's like, Ghislaine was arrested. And I was like, no!
I mean, it's crazy. We've all been waiting for it. Where did she get arrested again?
In Bradford, New Hampshire, which is in the middle of nowhere.
Like a nice area in the middle of nowhere, or just like...
Yes, it was on, her house was like 150 something acres.
Damn.
Yeah, she had a nice house there
that she bought in December.
Right.
There's this article that came out that she was hiding out in this property that she had purchased with cash.
Yeah.
December 2019 through an LLC that was called Granite Reality LLC.
And that apparently is, I think, affiliated somehow with Epstein because I think it's represented by Epstein's lawyer.
Yes. It lists that the business entity created November 18th. It lists an address in Boston that Ghislaine had previously listed as a mailing address.
And also, because she has done this, I think, before in 2000.
I'm sure.
Yeah, in 2000, Ghislaine moved into a townhouse less than 10 blocks from Mr. Epstein's mansion that was also purchased by an anonymous limited liability company, also represented by Epstein's longtime lawyer. So I guess she's purchasing a lot of real estate under this anonymous company.
Yeah, she was getting packages in mail through a different name.
I wonder, well, probably because she's facing so much persecution and also on the lam that she doesn't want to.
But also, why? Can we talk about why she would come back? She was in France. She's been seen in Paris. Why would she come back?
Well, that's what we're wondering. You had a good theory about this.
Well, I was thinking that maybe she struck some sort of plea deal.
Yeah.
Where she can come back and just spill the beans on everyone.
That's a huge possibility.
And they promised her protection.
Yeah, or some sort of deal. Also, though, she has a boyfriend.
She does.
Yeah, who's living with her, some Boston guy.
Oh, that's the house that she was first at. Like Manchester by the Sea, where she was hiding out. Oh, right.
hold on, let
Maybe
me look him up.
she's in love and she had to come back.
Maybe she's in love. But also, like, who would be her boyfriend? Like, it's crazy.
I know, right?
Someone who wanted money to live with money.
Oh, yeah.
Scott Borgerson.
Oh.
Millionaire tech company chief Scott Borgerson, 43, has been linked to sex fiend Ghislaine Maxwell. I love calling her a sex fiend. That's
She's
just
so
insane.
much more than a sex fiend.
Yeah. He's a 43-year-old CEO of Cargo Metrics. The company processes data analytics for maritime trade and shipping, which is interesting because doesn't Ghislaine have something to do with shipping? And like, doesn't she have her...
She knows how to drive a submarine, right?
Yeah, she's
my
a submarine driver. So that's weird. Yeah, so that's interesting. Ghislaine is 14 years older than him. Borgeson says they're just friends, but they're living together and have been seen kissing and cuddling.
Ooh, kissing.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Scott left his wife for Ghislaine around 5 years ago.
Oh, big mistake.
I mean, so yeah, that must be some sort of business arrangement that they have or something. I mean, that's truly bizarre.
France does not have an extradition rule
Exactly.
between the U.S., so she could have stayed in France and just been fine. Unless, prosecutors in France wanted to charge her with something, but I don't know if they could.
Which maybe they might have, because I think they traveled to France a lot.
Oh, Jeffrey Epstein had a house in Paris.
Yes, he had a house in Paris. And then also, we'll get into this in the Epstein part, but like for his birthday at one point, like Ghislaine had like 3 like 14-year-old French girls fly to Epstein for like the night.
So maybe they were starting to build a case against her in France. And she's like, well, if I move to the U.S. and I can give up so many names in the U.S., I'll get a better deal.
That might be it.
But why? Why not just continue living in France?
Because what we just said, Maria.
Oh, sorry. I'm in it now. I'm in it. Well, because I left for a minute and then I came into the conversation.
Left your body for a minute?
No, I actually left the Zoom. And then Craig came in and started talking to me, and I had to mute myself, and I wasn't listening.
So the federal indictment charged Ghislaine with 6 counts, including enticing minors to travel to engage in illegal sex acts and transportation of a minor with intent to engage in sexual activity and perjury.
Uh-oh, not perjury. That's the worst of them all.
Shit. Lying? Yeah. Sex trafficking is one thing, but how dare you lie? They're also, I guess, federal authorities are now seeking the cooperation of Prince Andrew, who hasn't
he's
been...
probably well, not sweating because he can't sweat.
That thing is
that
so
true?
dumb.
Did you watch that interview?
Yes.
Oh my
it's
God.
so stupid.
Oh my God. It's the most incriminating interview.
Oh, yeah.
Because one of the girls alleges that when she was intimate with Prince Andrew, he was like sweating all over her, like sweating so much. And then he's like, actually, that's not true because I used to have a condition where I couldn't sweat at all.
Yeah, he's like, no, I have an inability to sweat.
So what would he do? Pant like a dog? Like, I don't understand.
Obviously, he was sweating. It's a fake thing. There's no thing where, like, temporarily
No, he wouldn't
you're
lie.
unable
He's
to
not
sweat.
a perjurer, Allie.
That's true. He's just a
He
rapist.
said he had an overdose of adrenaline in the Falklands War when he was shot at. And so that, like, messed up his, like, nervous system, which doesn't make sense at all.
What? Okay. That's so specific. So I guess prosecutors formally asked a judge Thursday today. It's so crazy. This is like just all happening right now. To keep Maxwell locked up without bail because she is a huge flight risk, obviously.
No shit.
She has citizenship. I don't like what happened to me just now that I all of a sudden can no longer read or form sentences.
Just now?
That's so rude. She has citizenship in 2 foreign countries, 3 passports, and tons of money, obviously. So they are afraid she's going to leave. Also, it's said that she's traveled at least 15 times internationally in the past 3 years. to
Right.
places like the UK, Japan, and Qatar. And she has more than 15 bank accounts tied to her from 2016 to now.
Nice.
With some accounts equaling up to $20 million.
Yeah, you got to spread your wealth around.
Yeah.
Keep it safe.
So, I mean, this is crazy. This is just so weird. I guess this is according to a tweet. Her proceedings will start in federal court in New Hampshire in 10 minutes. That's 10 minutes from like 10 minutes ago. So 2 p.m. PT, I guess they're going to start.
Well, you guys are like the CNN of podcasts right now. Like, you're bringing people the news as it happens.
Also, do you remember when I was talking about that dentist on our first
Yes.
episode? I'm like, there's this dentist. Her name is Karina Shuliak. Her address is connected to Epstein. Apparently, she's the last person he called when he was in prison before he died.
I saw that. What do you think that is all about?
I think I broke this story because I was tweeting about this like almost a year ago. I'm like, who is this girl?
Yeah.
Why does he have a dentist? Because he has that dentist chair. And she married this woman named Jennifer Klein, who was also one of
Yeah.
Epstein's like recruiter girls. I'm like, oh, it must have been for a green card. And it was, because they just got divorced like 6 months ago or something.
And obviously he needed a dentist so that he can change the dental records of all the people he's killing. Because
Yes.
obviously like there's some sort of body count that's going on here. Like this is
Yeah.
too weird. We also saw an interesting tweet by Eli Honig. He writes, SDNY just announced that Ghislaine Maxwell case, like the original Epstein case, is staffed by the Public Corruption Unit. I worked at SDNY and did sex trafficking cases. They did not run out of public corruption unless there is some potential angle against a public official.
Right.
So what does that mean? So I think what that means is this is not just a regular sex trafficking case. I think that this
Right.
means that they for sure know that public officials are tied into it, whether that is Acosta or Alan Dershowitz or maybe Clinton or
Bill Barr.
Trump.
Bill Barr. Do you remember a week or two ago when Bill Barr tried to fire the U.S. Attorney General for the New York?
Yes.
And he was like, no, I'm not resigning until you have someone to replace me that was nominated. That's this, and the person who is like temporarily filling that guy's seat, because he eventually like resigned. But the
Yeah.
person who's temporarily filling the seat is the one who conducted this whole thing and arrested Ghislaine.
Shut up.
Yeah. So perhaps Bill Barr was trying to get rid of this person because they knew that they were trying to arrest Ghislaine.
Totally. I mean, this is just crazy. So obviously, like, do we think that do we think, if we're going to get into conspiracies, and some people think this isn't appropriate to say, but like, I don't give a fuck. Do we think, who am I, Joe Rogan? Do we think that Ghislaine is going to be killed or / like commit suicide? Or do we think she's going to like be under super protection and just like start dropping names like crazy?
I'd say that is a very high chance that she will be dead soon.
Yeah, because if she
Interesting.
did start dropping names, people are going to kill her. So like I just don't see how this plays out. I can't see it. Like usually I can see it and I can't.
You can see you can close your eyes and see
Yeah,
into
just
the
think
future.
real hard. Just squint.
Yeah.
Like Minority Report. You're like one of the triplets in Minority Report who's
The
like sitting in the
precogs.
goo. Yeah, you're a precog.
Flaws. Have you seen Minority Report?
I have.
Not in a long time.
I don't remember every quote from it though.
Okay, well,
Yeah, me
there's a
either, you
really
freak.
good. Colin Farrell does like a really good. He does a really good line, and he goes. Tom Cruise goes, "What are you looking like? What are you looking to find here?" And before he can get it out, Colin Farrell, like Melissa, go, "What are you looking to find here?" Just say that to me.
What are you looking to find here?
Flaws. Like he was ready for it before
he was amped.
It's so good. It's like one of my favorite.
Maybe he was afraid that he was going to forget the line, so he was saying it in his head over and over and over and over again. So then, as soon as he knew it was his line, he just spit it out.
That wasn't it. What was going on in his head was he was going like it was like they were battling each other, a battle of the minds.
Oh, got it. Yeah,
and then
yeah.
as soon as Tom Cruise like questioned him, he was like, "This is why I'm here."
Yeah. Okay. So you're kind of like the precog. You're the precog of web crawlers. Melissa is Colin Farrell, and I'm like Tom Cruise. You'd
No, Allie, you don't get to call yourself Tom Cruise. You wish. You freak.
say?
And I guess
whatever.
I'm just Tom Cruise.
Remember, you could do those face swap things where you could make yourself into a different gender.
Yeah. People are. That's hot right now.
I looked exactly like Tom Cruise when I was
I
changed
can see
into
that.
I see
a
that.
male.
You guys have similar noses.
Frightening. It was frightening.
I look like Michael Pitt. Okay, so anyways, back to the episode. Okay, so I mean, everything about Ghislaine is obviously like breaking right now. So I mean, I don't even know how we keep going. I mean, we'll just.
What do you mean how we keep going?
We gotta end the podcast.
Yeah, this is it.
I don't know.
No, I mean we'll keep talking about Ghislaine as we can, but I think all we can do is like move on to Epstein now and our wrap up on Epstein. Okay, so the U.S. prosecutor says we would welcome Prince Andrew coming in to talk to us. We would like to have the benefit of his statement. Our doors remain open. We would welcome him coming in and give us an opportunity to hear the statement. The Maxwell charges are enticing. Well, we kind of said this, but this is more the enticing minors to travel to engage in illegal acts, enticing minor to travel for illegal acts, conspiracy to transport minors with intent to engage in criminal sexual activity, transport of minor with intent to engage in criminal sexual activity, plus 2 perjury counts.
Damn.
Yeah, man. So
Those perjury counts, those are going to put her away for a while.
I mean, this is breaking. I guess by the end of the episode, we can check Twitter one more time and see.
Can I ask something really quickly?
Yes, please
Yes.
do.
The thing that's happening right now is what exactly is it?
They're bringing her to court and they're going to read her charges.
And does she
She's
get
been
to
arrested.
say anything to it, or does she?
No, then they'll
She
have...
just has to sit there like a dead duck.
Yes.
Yeah, she's probably going to be arrested, no bail.
Yeah. Well, the gavel will hit the thing.
Oh yeah, there's going to be some gaveling today. That's for darn sure.
Court dismissed.
Gaveling with Ghislaine.
Yes, that's coming to Quibi next year.
Ghislaine's gavel. That's
Yeah,
my
Ghislaine's
that's my fanfic. Is Ghislaine's gavel, and it's my fan fiction
Gavel spelled
yeah, with a GH
Ghavel. Gavel.
AIV.
Guys, enough joking around.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so let's get back into the Epstein Filthy Rich episodes, this docuseries, which we watched, and then Maria texted us being like, Epstein's not dead. And we were like,
No, he's
know,
not.
this is
He's
crazy.
alive and well. He's alive and well, and he's totally fine.
Yeah, he's somewhere on an island with Elvis. So
Yeah, he's not with Elvis Alley, but he's alive and he's protected. There's no way. There's no way he's dead. There's no way. After watching that documentary, there's no way he's dead.
Too many
Well, okay,
connections.
you're heated. Too many connections. So Melissa, do you want to start with kind of riffing off the notes that we have here, and then we can just like kind of play off each other?
Yeah. Well, yesterday there was that statue that popped up in downtown Albuquerque.
Which now thinking of it is weird that there was
That
that
is
statue
weird.
and then Ghislaine was arrested the next morning. That's strange.
It was like a fake statue. It was a mannequin that was painted bronze, but there was a plaque on it that said below the painted mannequin was a plaque that gave a brief background on Epstein and also read, he had a home in New Mexico, Zorro Ranch, which we know about. He was also a rapist who died in prison. It then went on to list several court cases involving Epstein and his victims, and it was made by Antlion Art Collective. It's just like this random artist made it and put it outside the old city hall.
What did we used to like to do? Acronyms?
Oh, Antlion.
I wonder if that spells anything. Let's see.
No lint.
What if it was an acronym for Epstein didn't kill himself?
No,
It
I
would
think
make
there's
sense.
not enough letters.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, wait. It's not an acronym we want. What is it that we want? Anagram.
Anagram.
An acronym is like when you make like a poem.
Oh yeah, like A stands for
Yeah,
Ally
it's like
Siegel.
achievement. Yeah.
L stands for lovable.
Loin tan.
That must be it. Loin tan. Neil Bog.
anon-lit. So yeah, it doesn't really look like anything's going on there. Okay, so that's weird that happened.
Anyway, that's weird.
What happened? My thing went out for a second.
It's what we just said about the statue. Oh my
Nothing's
God.
weird. Everything's normal.
So how this all started, how Epstein's downfall started, we talked about this in our original Epstein episode, is Vicky Ward of Vanity Fair was supposed to write a society piece on Jeffrey Epstein.
Right.
He basically, as she's doing her research, she keeps finding out these women who are like, I was abused by Jeffrey Epstein.
Right.
And she keeps trying to go deeper in this, and Jeffrey finds out about it and starts harassing her.
Yeah.
And she's pregnant when she's writing this article.
Oh, right.
And Epstein says to her, if I don't like this piece, I'm going to have a witch doctor place a curse on your unborn children. Where are you giving birth? I know all the doctors in this city.
Oh, no.
But why would he say a witch doctor? Like, that's the least, like, that's something where you'd go like, wait, what?
I know, that is weird. I'd be like, a witch doctor? Whatever.
He's probably
talking
because he's like
about?
a weird Satanist, because probably there's like some weird occult ties that he has that like that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys seem unenthusiastic about
No,
that
I
info.
am enthusiastic. I'm enthusiastic.
So then the editor of the Vanity Fair, this guy Graydon, finds a cat head and a bullet on his front porch.
Oh, God.
And after that, he pulls all the inflammatory stuff about Epstein.
So the piece comes out and it's like, Jeffrey Epstein is a cool rich guy.
yeah.
Look at his
He's
cool
like,
gold mansion and his sculptures of naked people. Isn't it cool?
non-rapist Jeffrey Epstein is a cool dude. So then I guess there's like one part, and I didn't really understand this. So Vicky Ward is introduced to Robert Maxwell.
Oh, Ghislaine's dad.
Oh, Ghislaine's dad.
He's the big
Okay,
media
right.
guy.
Yes, and Ghislaine's dad either killed himself or was killed on a boat.
Yes.
He was like a billionaire or multimillionaire, and then he was running out of money and then like suddenly died or
Yes.
suddenly like committed suicide. But he allegedly had ties to intelligence and the Israeli Mossad, allegedly.
He was a suspected spy as well.
Yes, which is one of our theories on Ghislaine and Jeffrey Epstein. Like, was Jeffrey Epstein a spy? Is that
Oh,
why?
he could be a spy.
Yes, because
He wasn't a damn spy. He was a pervert.
Maria, we have some evidence that might change your mind. So also it's weird that Epstein was friends with all these like famous people. Like he was friends with Eileen Guggenheim, who introduced one of Epstein's like girls to him.
The painter girl.
Yeah, the painter. Like Guggenheim was having an art show of like young painters, and this young talented girl was selling her art, and then Eileen Guggenheim was like, don't sell your art to these people. Sell it to Ghislaine and Jeffrey will be like a good resource for you.
At a lower price, too.
Yes.
Because it was already sold. The artwork was already sold. And she was like, yeah, I sold my artwork. And then she's like, no, you are selling to Jeffrey and Ghislaine, and it's going to be half the price. And this is what you're going to do. She's like, okay.
Yeah, which is totally weird. And like,
yeah,
why what's in it for Eileen Guggenheim to do that? It's just strange.
She's shady. Is she still alive?
I think she is still alive, and she's denying these claims. Yeah.
Everyone's in
She's on the
hiding.
lam. Everyone's in hiding. I would be too if I was friends with Epstein, although these people either seem to be in hiding or like our president. So then Epstein's main crib becomes Florida. He like moves from New York to Florida. And so he starts making big donations to the Florida Police Department.
Of course he did.
Right. Which you have written, which is assuming why Alex Acosta ended up letting him
which is
off.
why he got such a light sentence when he was first accused back in 2003, I believe.
Yeah, it's like 2003, 2005.
Early 2000s, where he was able to leave prison during the day.
It's the craziest thing.
It's the craziest thing ever.
It's so weird. So 2003, the police get their first complaint about young girls at Epstein's and like nothing happens.
Yeah, because he paid off the police.
Right. Then 2005, they get another complaint from a mother who says her stepdaughter gave Epstein a massage, etc. Detectives conduct the interview. They launch an investigation. Mm-hmm. And they find all this stuff. Like that time, they actually do a thorough investigation. Yeah. They get like lots of girls who admit that Epstein like raped or was inappropriate with them. Yeah. They find evidence of it. Like Epstein sent flowers to a girl who was in high school. Like,
ew,
all sorts of weird shit. And the investigation was led by Joe Recarey, who is now dead. He died in 2018.
Right.
After a quote unquote brief illness. Maria, shut up. You don't think it's weird?
Quote unquote.
He was retired for 5 years.
I still think it's weird. Listen,
it is.
He died in 2018, which is when Epstein was back in prison again, right?
2019 he was.
Okay, well then they were probably starting to get the feelers out there that they were going to arrest Epstein again. All of a sudden, the cop from his original arrest trial dies.
It's weird.
It's weird.
Of a quote-unquote brief illness.
Quote-unquote brief illness.
It's just crazy. Like, if you think around, like, I've known, like, a couple people in my life that have died or whatever. Think of, like...
who?
Buzzkill.
But, I mean, what I'm saying is you could go most of your life with only losing, like, one or two people connected to you. You know what I mean? Like, you go...
Yeah. Say that to my grandparents.
Well, I wish I could.
Yeah, you can't because they're dead.
What I'm saying is, it's like people go through their lives where like people aren't around them dropping like flies.
Yeah, that is just the trail of dead people are surrounding this guy. Yeah. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's unnatural. I'm not trying to be like QAnon, but like there's something here.
Anon, Allianon.
Allianon. I'm not trying to be Al-Anon.
I should go to Al-Anon. Okay, so then he quote unquote dies. Okay, so but then they go to Epstein's house on a search warrant to get stuff from his house, but he's been tipped off.
Oh,
and a lot of stuff is missing.
The police. Alexander Acosta was like,
yes.
By the way, destroy all your hard drives. The police are coming.
So literally like hard drives are missing, like computers, hard drives, shit like that's missing. And so they're like, okay, something's up. I mean, there's all this other crazy stuff in the documentary, which isn't really like conspiracy theory based, but it's just like...
What's the sexual pyramid scheme?
That basically what he was running was a sexual pyramid scheme about how he would get a girl and then be like, tell the girl to bring like 3 other girls to his house and then tell those girls to bring like a few other girls and like... So he had the girls recruiting other girls.
That is a pyramid scheme.
So he wasn't going out. So he was really running some weird like sexual pyramid scheme.
I wonder what's going to happen to all the women who are working with him, like that woman Jennifer Klein and Sarah something. They're still out there.
It's crazy.
Just hanging out, living their lives. This one girl changed her name, but like people on Twitter found her. She's married.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. Sarah Kellen, I believe.
Epstein, they like start asking him questions and he only pleads the fifth. He like pleads the 5th and the 14th and like the 7th or something. I can't remember the 3
And
ones.
like pleading the 5th is like, that only makes you seem more guilty.
Yeah, he says it's like that's what innocent people do. But like if I was innocent, I'd just answer a question.
You would say no if you're innocent.
Totally. It's also implicated that, Maria?
Well, I was going to say, because sometimes it's like he could answer it, but then wouldn't you be afraid that like things that you say could then be turned against you? Like if you were innocent and you were like, no, I was just walking my dog down this private driveway when I shouldn't have been. And they were like, oh, you were walking your dog down a private driveway? And then you're like, and then you're like, well, no, that's not what I meant. I just meant to say that I wasn't there when you say I was there.
I get what you're saying.
Are you a lawyer, Maria?
No, she's a precog. She knows where this is going.
If I close my eyes, I can see the future.
It's also implicated that Epstein has an oval-shaped oval-shaped,
Oh, yeah.
egg-shaped penis that's thick at the
Gross.
bottom and
But
skinny
so
at
does
the top.
Weinstein. Doesn't Weinstein have that too?
Oh no, there was that article that came out recently where the women describing his penis, he had some sort of disease or something that would cause that would eat your ball. Like it was like a flesh eating disease.
Oh my God.
Because I remember one of the victims was like, yeah, it almost looked like it went inwards or it was like disgusting. That's why he had those needles that he had to stab in there to like inject. Did you see that movie recently with the girl from Ozark?
Oh no.
It's based off of Weinstein. Julia Garner is in it. It was interesting. It was kind of it was very artsy, a very artsy film. The Assistant.
I don't like artsy films.
Ew.
But it was like she was working for a guy who was like an asshole, and she always had to clean out his like empty needles from his trash can.
Ew. Okay, well, there is that about him. Anyways, so Alex Acosta essentially drops a case and makes a plea deal.
Right.
And then later, Trump elects him as Secretary of Labor.
Crazy.
So
Crazy. Because everyone was like, why would you not give Jeffrey Epstein like a harder sentence? Why would you everyone was like, what are you doing? And then Trump all of a sudden elects him.
yeah, so are they all in the Illuminati together?
Yes,
Who
they
knows?
are.
Epstein's sentence was insane. He goes to quote unquote jail in 2008, but he's on work release, which means he's allowed to leave jail for 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. And then he has to come back at 8 p.m. When he is in jail, they leave the door open for him.
Yeah.
He has TV privileges and he gets to bring in special food. So he gets takeout. He also only serves 13 months of his 18-month sentence.
And when he would leave, they would have some journalists I know were following him. He would go to hotels or
Yeah.
he would go to the gym. He would go places where he was supposed to go to his house, and that was it. But he would just go out willy-nilly, hanging out in the town.
It says in the documentary he was still fucking girls during this
Yeah.
time, doing weird pervy stuff.
Yes, in the hotels. So gross.
Yeah. So in 2015, they reopened the case, I guess because of the Victims' Rights Act.
Mm-hmm.
The court finds that Acosta trial was unlawful. The plea deal had been hid from the sexual trafficking victims, which is illegal because of the Victims' Rights Act.
Oh, okay.
So, I could be getting this wrong. This is just what I garnered from the docuseries, but I'm obviously not very good at this. So they reopened the case in New York because initially it had been tried in Florida. So they know that there's enough crimes in New York to also try him there for it. So then I guess he ultimately goes to jail.
Yeah. So I wonder what's going to happen with Prince Andrew. I bet he's going to get arrested.
Yeah.
They have to have, I'm sure Ghislaine has so much dirt on him.
For sure. We read something this morning that both Maria and I didn't know. What Jeffrey Epstein allegedly attempted suicide before his major suicide?
So a month prior, do you remember when it came out Jeffrey Epstein was injured in prison and people thought maybe his cellmate had beat him up?
I don't remember this at all. I was Mandela affected by this or something. I don't remember.
It was the reverse Mandela effect.
This wasn't in my timeline I was living in.
Yeah, it was July. He had marks around his neck. And so they said it was possibly a suicide attempt, but he had a cellmate at the time. And people think that maybe his cellmate tried to choke him or beat him up or something. So that's why they moved him to a separate cell, and which is why he should have been on 24-hour suicide watch. Which he was, but no one was.
But the guards were sleeping and
sleeping.
The cameras didn't work.
Yeah.
And are they prosecuting or looking into the guards
Yes, they are.
the jail?
They are.
Okay.
Yeah, and so
That's
he
interesting.
moved, and then what was it? 2 days before he quote unquote died, he transferred all of his $500 million into the Virgin Islands. So the victims cannot get that money.
Ugh.
That's a big fuck you. Or it's for Ghislaine.
Why would you kill yourself and not why would you care?
That's why
That's why he's not
if
dead.
you knew you were going to kill yourself, why would you even care about transferring the money anywhere? You'd just be well, I'm going to die. unless he knew he was gonna, be alive in the future somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have some theories. The first theory is that Epstein's a spy. Is he in the CIA or Mossad? This is from a Medium article by some guy, Dylan Howard. Steve Hoffenberg was arrested by FBI agents in Arkansas in 1996 after regulators accused him of defrauding investors. The former business partner of Jeffrey Epstein in Towers Financial spent 18 years in jail for the largest Ponzi schemes in history prior to Bernie Madoff's crimes. But the notorious sex criminal got away scot-free. Why? In a series of new and exclusive conversations, Hoffenberg reveals the real reason he evaded justice in one of America's largest Ponzi schemes is that he was an international spy.
Oh, okay.
It's continued that, is the Epstein case going to cause a problem for confirmation hearings? Acosta had been asked. Acosta had explained breezily, apparently, that back in the day, he'd had just one meeting on the Epstein case. He'd cut the non-prosecution deal with one of Epstein's attorneys because he had, quote unquote, been told to back off, that Epstein was above his pay grade.
Acosta had been told to back off. That's what he's saying?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah, because Epstein was above his pay grade.
Oh.
I was told Epstein belonged to intelligence and to leave it alone. He told interviewers in the Trump transition, who evidently thought that was a sufficient answer and went ahead and hired Acosta.
That's interesting. He's part of intelligence.
Weird, right? In a series of bombshell interviews with me following the release of the book, Hoffenberg confirmed that not only does he have firsthand knowledge of Epstein's work as an agent of the Mossad, but also his former cohorts, Prince Andrew and Maxwell, are still actively working to keep his explosive secrets. You guys don't believe it.
Oh, I do. I love this theory on here. It says Epstein is a robot? ?
Okay. So we can also talk about that one if you want. So Epstein, one of the people who went to Epstein's island, who was having sex with the girls there, was an artificial intelligence pioneer. So one of my guesses was that maybe the person who actually went to jail was an AI version of Epstein.
Oh my God.
Like a robot or something, because if you look at that dead body, it looked really weird.
And did you guys see the wires coming out of him in that picture?
Shut up, Maria.
No, Allie. That was like a thing. Everyone was like, why are there all these wires like coming out like where his ear is?
Like the Terminator when it gets his head blown off.
That makes sense now.
It could be a robot because what like it doesn't really have to be like, he doesn't have to say anything. He's just in jail, just sitting there.
Yeah. Or maybe, I mean, if you're really far advanced in AI, I'm sure you could transport your consciousness into something else. So maybe it is Epstein that went to jail, but they had transferred Epstein consciousness into some other sort of like being or robot. So maybe it's like Epstein who really was in jail and then they killed him, but his consciousness or like his soul matter or something was transferred into something else.
He's in like a Roomba somewhere.
It's in a Roomba. It's just like in my living room, just sweeping up everything.
Yes.
It's going, hello, I'm Jeffrey. I'm like, did you hear that?
Yeah.
There's
Help
some
me.
Alexa somewhere that's just on the fritz.
But did you see the movie The Invisible Man with
Yes.
Yeah. Like that guy.
That was the last movie I saw, but that was the last thing I did right before Corona.
right.
That was my last outside memory. I saw The Invisible Man at the Vista Theater in Los Feliz, and then I haven't left the house since. Maybe that's the last thing I'll ever do. So there's that. Another thing is we have what the fuck, where is Ghislaine and why is she safe?
Well,
we can put that off the list.
check mark.
Yeah, we just cross that off, just like Steve Buscemi in that movie, because she got caught this morning.
Wedding Singer.
Yes,
Oh.
yes. A great movie that holds up.
It's a really
I
good
love
movie.
The Wedding Singer.
It is so good.
That weird son.
Self-taught.
Oh my
No,
God.
yeah, what does he say? He goes, because I'm the greatest guitar player in the world, self-taught, no lessons. Thank you very much, Pop. Remember? He said
Yeah.
that's what Steve Buscemi says. Oh, and you know what? That's not in A Wedding Singer. That's in Billy Madison that he crosses him off the list.
Oh, right. Billy Madison.
And then, so we covered that. The Illuminati is real. I mean,
That's a theory. I mean, that's the theory to end all theories.
I think that's probably why Epstein was quote unquote like killed or knocked off, because they didn't want all the names of these famous people who were in cahoots. Also, it says in the docuseries that like one of the girls was taken into this quote unquote like leaded room in New York and shown like this. It was like a big room full of like TV screens, and that every room in his house had monitors and video cameras and recording devices
For blackmail.
Yes. And so everything that was going on in any of his houses or properties, he was recording so that he could blackmail people who came into his homes. So that's, I guess, probably how he got his money and his power.
Oh, right. Yep. Blackmailing.
So, I mean, maybe there is something to be said about this weird like underbelly of people who are somehow connected to one another.
I wonder what Ghislaine has on Trump.
Seriously. Oh, also this reminds me of another plot point. So, he got his job at like the Dalton school or whatever with like,
oh, he was teaching.
Yeah. With like no college education and like no teaching credential or anything like that. And then he got another job after that with like also no degree or anything.
Right.
So maybe those were placeholder jobs. If he was like a spy, they were just like cover-ups. Or they were like just part of his like, okay, we're going to say your name's Jeffrey Epstein. You are a teacher at the Dalton school.
Like
maybe that wasn't
cop.
even real.
Yeah.
Maybe he was pulling a kindergarten cop.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
It's not a tumor.
It's
like
not
maybe
a tumor.
that's what was going on with Jeffrey Epstein. Like maybe those were all fake jobs. He was doing the kindergarten cop.
It's like my favorite
so
movie.
good.
It's so good. The kids in that movie are so
They're
cute.
the best.
I gotta watch that again.
I'm not a policeman. I'm a princess.
I'm sure Jeffrey Epstein would think they're cute too.
Oh boy.
Oh God. So I mean, I guess those are some of the theories we cooked up. Let's check Twitter one more time to see if
going on.
anything happened.
Well, what's the latest on the thing that was going on 30 minutes ago? Is there any updates into?
That's what we're gonna see.
Okay, well, tell me when you find it.
Well,
I'm hungry.
All I can think about oh my God, Maria, I was about to say all I can think about right now is how bad I want a cheese plate.
ooh, a cheese plate.
I think I'm gonna make some chili.
Interesting. I don't feel like that.
You're not a chili fan? Were you an alien?
Not when it's hot out, but maybe the weather's different where you are.
Well, it gets cooler at night.
Yeah, nighttime is the right time for chili.
Too many jokes about her dying in prison.
I know.
We get it. We get it. You guys have to find the joke after the joke. You can't go from A to B. You gotta find the Z. You gotta say
A to Z.
This guy, Noah Shachtman, says the Daily Beast has you covered on the Ghislaine Maxwell story, the backstory, the indictment, the hideout, her pals, her victims rejoicing. Let's see what her victims rejoicing say. This means the world. This is justice. This is what justice looks like. I never had it. It's so beautiful. Maria Farmer, 50, told the Daily Beast. It's the best news I've ever gotten in my life. I don't have to hide anymore. I'm safe. I'm really hopeful that they'll maybe get some of the perps. Maybe they'll go down the list of co-conspirators.
That would be amazing if there was a list of co-conspirators.
Oh, wow. So Epstein's controversial non-persecution agreement, inked by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Miami in 2008, provided immunity to alleged accomplices, including Leslie Groff, Adriana Ross, Sarah Kellen, and Nadia Marcinkova.
Oh, right. I remember reading that. It was this whole thing where like his co-conspirators would be protected because it was a crazy thing. It was Alexander Acosta was behind that.
Yeah, so they all got immunity.
They got protection, but I don't know if Ghislaine's name was in that.
It wasn't. Yeah, I mean, obviously it wasn't on that because she just got arrested.
Yeah, that's why everyone was like upset at Alexander Acosta, because it was like, what are you doing? This is crazy.
Well, they've all clearly signed some sort of deal with
the devil.
Yeah, it looks like that's I mean, it seems like she's probably in court right now, so it'll be later today probably where other things will come out. But anyways, that's what we think so far. If you guys have your own theories or updates or whatever, Melissa, where can people reach us?
You can email us at webcrawlerspod@gmail.com, or you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at webcrawlerspod, or Facebook or Reddit. And I love that on our Twitter there was like 30 notifications of everyone just like, Ghislaine. I was like, I know.
It was so funny. I'm so glad that I wrote that yesterday, that I was like, we're going to do a recap episode. Anyone have any ideas? And then like this morning, it was like 30 notifications.
Crazy.
Or else people would have thought you were a liar if you would have said, we were going to do an Epstein episode anyway. Then people would have said, like,
I'm glad that we covered our tracks, because we would have seen like posers.
Perjurers.
We would have been in prison
like
for life.
Perjury, unless we pled the fifth, because, you know, that's what you got to do if you're innocent. Okay, well, anyways, guys, this has been a hoot and a holler. Excited to hear what you guys have to think about it. I'm Allie Siegel.
I'm Melissa Ghislaine Stetton.
And I'm Maria
Precog.
Precog Maria Blasucci.
And I'm Tom Cruise. And I'm the cruise man. Talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
An Erios original.
Powered by Acast.